No second chances, no support, and nowhere to go but the finish line. Day and night, non-stop, racing the clock as much as they race themselves. Across 4 continents and countless challenges. The ultimate prize is simply surviving. The journey, the tears, and the triumphs. Welcome to Wild Races. New Zealand reveals her final chapter, unveiling some of the most awe-inspiring and dramatic race legs to date. To tread its land, to ply its waters, New Zealand asks of you, of the races, enjoy my bounty and be vigilant. What lies ahead may seem achievable, though please do not be fooled, as there are still some surprises hidden in along her shores. Kiwi Team Seagate now drive to the lead with the downfall of their closest competition. Our remaining teams hold on to their positions and stay in contention, but for how long? Our first leg takes our teams along a monumental 129-kilometre mountain bike journey, across wide exposed valleys, fast and furious downhills, plus extremely exposed coastal vistas. This path is seldom ever taken and will prove more challenging than ever expected.
We've probably been racing for about 55 hours now.
It is definitely a roller coaster of kind of emotions and experiences. You do have some pretty amazing highs during the race, and then there's certainly times when you're being challenged to the point where it's not really that much fun and you're having to dig pretty deep. Yeah, it's a very intense experience, but at the same time it's one that's really special as well. Like, it certainly makes you feel pretty alive when you're out there and sort of pushing yourself to that level and through those extremities and through that environment that, you know, tests you in lots and lots of ways.
We're in good shape, yep. I mean, you're starting to get, you have your moments, get a bit tired or a few sore bits, but nothing to complain about.
Team Seagate keep pushing the envelope up front. Meanwhile, hard in chase, Blackhard take stock from a challenging night and push even harder to close down the gaps ahead. Further back, our teams now face the real possibility of missing the crucial time cutoff that will prevent them from completing this course.
We made the cutoff, yep. Half an hour spare. Team just pulled it together. They left everything out there for that leg.
Got blisters really bad. Yeah, I expected to get blisters, but I've never had them before as bad as this, and they're just going to get worse because there's nothing you can really do about it. But I didn't think I'd be crying. Probably because I've only had 3 hours sleep so far.
This has become all about survival. The sheer will to move on is truly astonishing. But forward they do move, awaiting them a natural beauty unsurpassed.
That big mountain up there, I reckon.
So here we are, we've just overslept for about 2 hours. Yeah, we're all a little bit stressed out about it, but hopefully it's not going to let our race get too far off track, but we'll see where to from here.
Yeah, it was a bit hectic getting out on transition on time, so we just chucked a few things in our bags that we're just sorting out now, like our maps and bits and pieces.
Despite the setback, Bivouac push on into the darkness. The next 24 kilometres is short, but the challenge is immense. Traversing the brutal Earnslaw Range, down to the valley below, is as mesmerising as it is daunting.
When we're out there racing, we try as much as possible to take in the scenery and the environment that's around us. I mean, that's largely why we're out there, and we're constantly kind of saying to each other, you know, just check out that view or the river or waterfall, whatever it is. I mean, we do pass through the area quickly, but yeah, we do try and make the most of it.
We just got into the valley beneath the Hernsel Glacier as the sun came up, and yeah, we got a delicious pink glow, and it's looking real stunning out there. You do get to see some great places and see them in a bit of a different way. Often I'm too lazy to probably be out and time the sun's coming up, so yeah, this race here has been right up there. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we certainly feel like we're breaking the back now, but on saying that, it's never over until it's over, so still got a couple of things to do.
We had quite a bad third night where we couldn't find the route through a mountain pass and had to sleep about 6 hours on the edge of a big drop, which wasn't ideal. And then when the sun rose, you could find a way to the top, but that was quite dangerous and not really that enjoyable. Worked pretty solidly up the climbs. We were a bit sore and slow on the downhills probably, but we didn't make any mistakes, so that was better than our previous legs. Just quite a tough descent to finish off with, and an awesome abseil though. That was fun.
Dropping into the valley below brings rewards of unimaginable proportions. The vista that surrounds is only delivered to those that have endured this journey so far.
4 days and 5 hours. Almost at the end of the final trek stage. Finished within sight, so we're excited about that. Happy to get off our feet very soon. It's been a long race with a lot of time on your feet. Not so many easy legs. Every leg's been quite difficult.
The grandeur of this race totally consumes our teams, giving real purpose to their venture. Challenges that once seemed trivial take on new meaning, where lessons now being learnt can and will define them forever.
It's serious stuff, you know, and especially with sleep deprivation and the terrain and at night time. It can be scary out there. I think it's just all having one collective goal. You know, we all want to get to the finish line. We all sort of have to get to the finish line, and there was nothing that's really going to stop us. We don't have any other options. It's a bit extreme, but get to the finish line or die.
You've just got to basically keep telling yourself that you put one foot in front of the other. Like, you're out there in the middle of nowhere, and no one's coming to get you if you pull out. You've got to carry on.
Extreme environments call for extreme measures.
Here's our new technique for descending hills. As you can see, it's pretty effective.
A simple 20 kilometres of mountain biking is compounded by 42 hours of minimal sleep, epic terrain and brutal weather. With the thought of the final stages ahead, this leg takes on a totally different perspective.
I think the years of experience counts for quite a lot. I mean, obviously everyone has a different experiences. He's come from an outdoor background as well as a racing background, and he's very competitive. Although he's a very social, relaxed person in life, when it comes to racing he's really competitive, and so he's able to use all of his experiences together to bring out the best in the team and get the results.
One of the challenges of leading the race is that we don't have a lot of information on what's going behind us. The teams behind are getting a little bit more information because they can see what time we've passed through a particular transition area. For us, it doesn't make a huge difference because all we're trying to do really is move through the course as best we can as a team. It really comes down to us and kind of the epic course that's in front of us. It's about getting to Queenstown as quick as we can. So what's going on behind us does have some irrelevance really, because if a team's half an hour behind or 3 hours behind, it doesn't really change our speed on the course at that time hugely. And it is largely because we want to get to the end as quick as we can as well.
The pace of racing at this level brings different meaning to different people. Some revel in its challenges, whilst others falter in its wake.
Knees got really sore, you can see the swollen. Basically there's a lot of uphill, a lot of downhill. And you're carrying a pack on your back, which is not entirely normal all the time, so you're sort of going at a fair rate of knots most of the time and asking a lot of your knees. So.
I've got heaps of swelling all down this leg. And that's the ankle bone in there, so that should be poking out. But you know, just from being on your feet as well for that length of time.
She's just needs a power nap. We have time, so we can afford to have a bit of rest when we need it. Well, we try to satisfy the team needs first, and if it's not a good spot to stop and no one else wants to, we probably won't. But if one person's really struggling, then there's only so long you can keep pushing. It gets pretty unenjoyable and it slows the whole team down too. A short sleep now will mean that we'll travel faster for the rest of the day. We slept for only 20 minutes last night, so added accumulation of fatigue over the last 5 days. So 20 minutes doesn't really cut it, but we're trying to get to the finish line and we can worry about our rest when we get there.
Before the race, we do spend a bit of time looking at who the competition is, and I think essentially what we're doing is looking at a team's strengths and weaknesses and matching that up against ours. So we'll look at teams and think, right, this team's strengths are in these particular areas, so we can expect them to be competitive in this sort of discipline or this part of the race. Or another team may have some weaknesses that we don't have, so we sort of think, well, we've got an advantage here. So I think largely when we look at the field, it's thinking, right, can this team beat us and how are they going to do it? Or can we beat this team and how are we going to do it? And going into the God Zone race, I sort of felt, looking at the field, that while there was some fantastic athletes amongst some of the teams and some really strong combinations in the teams, I didn't really feel that any of the other teams really had all the ingredients to beat us if we had a good race.
Weaknesses exposed, some teams succumb, whilst others find new strength from within.
My worst moment of the race, climbing up the last climb. But look, it only lasted maybe 30 minutes that I was really struggling, and when we reached the ridge and started to come back down, I was already feeling a bit better.
Inspired by the chase to the finish, Blackheart dig deep and draw from the experiences past to push to their absolute limits. Days in this brutal wilderness certainly take their toll, but there is more to the human spirit than meets the eye, and extraordinary times call for extraordinary measures. New Zealand's brutal lands are about to give way to more forgiving terrain. Or are they? Paddling over a marathon of water through one of the most spectacular vistas on the planet gives our teams time to reflect, though in doing so also creates the drive to get to the finish.
definitely an awesome buzz. Bottom line now is we just want to get things finished, so we just want to get there and finish the job off, make sure it's a good one.
We're quite lucky with this tailwind. Hopefully it keeps up so we can get back to Queenstown as soon as we can.
We haven't slept for about 30 hours, so I just hope I stay awake, but there's two of us in a kayak, so if I fall asleep, at least the other guy will paddle. It's just like, how do you keep yourself going for 5 days knowing what's ahead of you and what you've done? We've had like 8 hours sleep in 60 hours or something. Yeah, just trying to make that challenge.
They say adventure racing, it's like life compressed. You know, you've got all these things in life compressed into such a short space of time, and they say the highs are higher and the lows are lower, and you know, when you're fatigued, they do seem pretty bad, and you do have the bad times and the good times. When things are going wrong, you just sort of got to keep pushing through it. You think that they won't be that bad forever. You know, you get some sleep or some food or whatever, everything's sort of going to turn out all right.
Some say this journey is a metaphor for life, whilst others heed its lessons. With the end in sight and darkness drawing near, it's time for one last push.
I absolutely love the challenge, absolutely love being out in the outdoors. As a team, we all sort of have that same approach to racing, I think, as well, that we just want to see how hard we can go and how fast we can go.
A super impressive performance from Nathan and the Seagate boys and girls. Yeah, it was a really, really tough course out there and pretty tough conditions. It's been super cold all week, and you know, their dominance this week really highlights what a great team they are. They were by far the best team out there.
This epic journey is drawing to a conclusion, though this land of rugged beauty has made the decision to welcome our teams home in a way only she can deliver.
Probably not the easiest way to get from Milford to Queenstown, but we enjoyed the challenge of it and the journey that we had getting here.
It's a love-hate. I'm definitely going to keep racing and striving for us to have that perfect race.
With breaking dawn, some lead and others follow. This was now their time to shine. The initiation complete, the finish line in sight.
An incredible experience to go out there and spend a whole week with 3 of my best friends and go and traverse across countryside that is basically our own backyard and that 99% of the population will never ever see.
There were times there where mentally I thought we're not going to finish this race, and we were in some serious trouble, but to overcome that is a very satisfying feeling, and for me that's overcoming those moments where as a team we were all down and as a team we all got back up. I think we've got what it takes to be one of the best teams in the world, and when we look at our team dynamics, obviously we're a long way from that now, but I think the platform is there for a great team. And we all love it and we all get on really well, and to me that's what it's about. The physical side and the experience side will come with more racing.
We did it, we made it.
I'm sure in a few years' time if we're still sitting here doing this racing, then we'll be up there where Seagate are now.
There's 365 days in the year, so if I can't get out and kind of push myself and endure a bit of hardship for what is just a few days of a year, then I just don't think that's the kind of person I want to be. I just want to get out there and feel alive and just push myself to a point where I can really appreciate the really good things in life and the comforts that we're so lucky to have.
Team Seagate taking the spoils, with those left to rue in their wake. Having learned so much but fallen short, this time others falling victim to a brutal lesson that New Zealand had to teach. Teams arrived in New Zealand anticipating an adventure. Some realised their limits whilst others are inspired. All were rewarded a lifetime inside a journey of stone and water. This is Wild Races, carved of adventure. Many will return again.